Welcome to week 3. This is the first time we're doing this not in the same country, so it's a very new setup.
So forgive any technical difficulties. There will probably be some,
There might
but
be
it's
some.
going to get better every week.
It shall. We're new at this, but we're trying.
So we're going to surprise ourselves,
We
surprise each
will.
other with our snacks.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. We don't know what snacks that
I know
we've
with that,
bought.
with snacks.
So who wants to go first? You want to go first? I feel like I've gone first a few other times, so you go first.
I have two.
Ooh.
This is the least exciting one. I got an arrow because
I
I feel like I just haven't even seen these on sale for ages.
So nice. Is that the wheel thingy? Oh my God.
It's the Hubba Bubba tape.
No way.
6 feet.
That's
And
6 feet. Wow.
I think this might genuinely be partly the reason for a lot of my jaw issues, because when I was a kid, I used to like put the entire thing in my mouth. I was like obsessed with it. So I just want to smell it. I'm excited to smell it.
Oh. Well, I went different and I bought Skips.
Oh, yeah.
The prawn cocktail ones. I haven't had them for so long and I just wanted to try them again. I'll just wait while you struggle. So, we're in week 3 of The Artist's Way, and this week was about recovering a sense of power. This week may find you dealing with unaccustomed bursts of energy and sharp peaks of anger, joy, and grief. You are coming into your power as the illusionary hold of your previously attempted limits is shaken. You will be asked to consciously experiment with spiritual open-mindedness. So basically every week, as well as the 3 morning pages that we write and the artist date, we also have tasks to do in each week. And sometimes they're like writing tasks, sometimes they're doing tasks, but they're kind of a bunch of different things. So I thought it'd be quite fun if we go through them together, because we've obviously both done a lot of them. Sometimes I don't always get them done in the week because it is like a lot of tasks, but sometimes you can. So the first task was to describe your childhood room.
This made me really nostalgic. Like, I loved my childhood bedroom because we moved for the first time when I was like 8. So all of my best like memories are associated with that first house in Berkshire Gardens. And I had Forever Friends wallpaper. I had like a pink red carpet. I had a massive bookcase that I was obsessed with, and I had like a cabinet with a little light up top, and I used to get in trouble for always climbing up the cabinet to turn the light on and off. I think my mom was really scared the cabinet was going to fall on me.
No way.
But yeah, and I had the one thing this triggered in me as well is I used to have a Little Mermaid perfume that was bright green, and I was obsessed with it. And I'd never actually used it. I used to just pretend like it was a potion. There are so many like tangible and like bright, colorful memories I have associated with that room. That I think it also part of that task was to bring part of that to your room now, right? Like there was something about adding something to your room so you can feel that kind of feeling again. And I'm moving soon, so I'm going to do that then. It didn't make sense to do it now.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's so sweet. I felt exactly the same. Like I felt very nostalgic writing about it because I felt that the more I wrote about describing my room, the more I remembered of it as well. Because when you just ask what your room was like, you can kind of just say the colours or like what it was like. But when I tried to go around to every single corner, remember what was in those corners. It was painted blue and yellow. And I had a wardrobe, and then I had like a bay window which looked out onto the garden, and then a desk. And all I remember from sitting on that desk was doing, do you remember Kumon? Did you ever do that?
The maths thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Did
don't
you
know
do
that I
that?
went to classes. I think Rosie did.
Yeah, so basically I was
like
awful.
a very gifted child.
True, exactly. You wouldn't need it. I am awful at maths. I do not have a maths brain. Q1 is basically like these little, I just remember it being fractions. Like we just got given these little bits of homework. We had to do fractions endlessly all the time, and I hated it. And I just remember sitting at the desk trying to get them done really quickly so that I could go outside and play in the garden. And then the other thing I remember was I had like a little single bed which had a brown wooden bed frame. And I remember I got a green pen one day and like scraped eyes and a nose and a mouth onto the headboard because I wanted it to be like a magical bed. And I used to think that it like came alive at nighttime and was just like a magical bed that took me to random places.
Oh my God, I love that. That's epic.
It was fun. And also the thing I remember about that childhood room is outside of my room, I had a corridor leading to the landing. And that's where a lot of like the games I used to play, I think we used to play there together, and just like we'd always just spend time in that little corridor space. It was so random, but I loved it there.
Yeah.
And you used to be able to, you know, when you put your hands on both walls and your legs on both walls and like walk across, I used to be able to do that as well.
Was
It was
it
so
your
fun.
first house that had the blue carpet, the bluish kind of turquoise carpet in
Yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah.
My strongest memory about that was that you spilt like a bottle of nail varnish all over that blue carpet one time you were around, and your dad lost
Oh my
it.
God, yeah. I remember there being like a really hard patch on the carpet. I didn't realize it was nail varnish. I
That was
remember.
that was that was definitely us.
Oops.
Slash, I feel like it was you,
Probably
but
me. It was
I
probably
don't
me.
know.
So another one of the tasks was to describe 5 traits you liked in yourself as a child. It's interesting to look back and reflect on how you were as a kid.
How
But
you've
yeah,
changed.
and how you've changed.
And how
Yeah.
you still are, but are like I think one of the things that came up for me, I can't remember if it was during these tasks or outside of it, but something came up for me where I was thinking like what parts of myself are smaller than they need to be. um and that brought up a lot of that for me, because there were a lot of things that I was as a kid that got kind of squashed, but they were things I loved about myself and I think would actually be really valuable if I'd kept those traits, you know.
Yeah. What were the traits? Do you remember?
I mean, the biggest one is I just like didn't ever take no for an answer. I just, in my head, I was like, if something's possible, then I can do it. Like, why not? And when
Yeah.
people would try to like squash my dreams, like I just thought they would like ridiculous. I thought they were the ridiculous ones, you know? Yeah, I just felt I could do anything. You know, there was
Yeah.
nothing, there was no I had no mental blockers.
I think a lot of kids are just like, I feel like we're all born like that. And then just society kind of, or different things we experience and like people we interact with kind of make us think that things are not possible, or like the reality kicks in. I think it's even kind of told to us at school when you're a kid, when you're like, oh no, they tell you to like dream big and think about those kind of things, but then when it comes to it, like, no, pick traditional subjects, you must get a corporate job, you must do this, you must do that, and it's just like, oh, okay, so you want me to have all these ideas and like learn about stuff, but you don't actually want me to get there. If that makes
Forced
sense.
us to go to university, saddle us with a ridiculous student loan we'll probably never be able to pay back. Something
Yeah.
else I could talk about for
Yeah.
hours. I'm so angry. They're trying to chase me down now in Canada. I'm like, excuse me? Do
Stay
I know
away.
you?
I know, like, I'm Canadian now, don't talk to me. I know it's like this in the UK, and I guess it's like this in some other countries as well, but the school system kind of just like makes you choose your subjects so early on, and it narrows your path so early on that like you can't, it's very difficult to try and do multiple things, and you kind of get taught that that's not right or not achievable. And that quote, that what's that?
Jack of all trades.
That, yeah, jack of all trades, master of none. That gets taught to us from such a young age. And we were speaking about this because I found out that that is not even the full quote. I should have written down the full quote because I can't remember now. Did you?
Vaguely, okay, I can tell you what I think it was.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades, master of none, but still better than a master of one.
Yeah, something like that. Basically, the entire quote is saying that it's better to try lots of different things rather than be a master at one. So it's actually the complete reverse of what we think it's saying to us and what we got told it was saying to us. And yeah, I remember being told that from a young age and thinking I have to narrow down, I have to pick one subject or one thing that I want to do for the rest of my life. And that was why I felt I had such a hard time trying to decide which direction to go in, because I put so much pressure on it thinking that this direction had to be my direction for life. And that was a really scary thing to do for a 15-year-old.
And the thing is, like, if you know what you want to do, like, there were some things that were limited from choices we made at that time, which is ridiculous. Like, I know because I was like top in science and maths, literally, I don't know what happened. I was so gifted as a child. And then as soon as I got to university, I obviously had like the biggest brain rot ever. But I was really good at maths and science as a kid, but I didn't enjoy any of it. I hated it. I didn't want to go in that direction. But everyone was saying to me, you will be so stupid if you don't take triple science as one of your options, because you will never get you won't be able to do an A level, is what they told me, in
Really?
science if you haven't had triple science, or it'd be really hard to. And when you go to university, they're going to be looking like all the way back. Like, I mean, to be fair, now that I'm saying it out loud, it probably also wasn't true, but they did make me feel like I had to do that. I
Yeah,
didn't have a choice.
I remember, yeah.
we've really created a world where it's so hard to shift or you're told it's so hard to shift and change.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
No. But even now, I feel like we're both 30 and we're rediscovering things that we like now through this book, but also just through living, and things that I wouldn't even know I liked like 20 years ago. I now like, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can try and do all these different things, and it's okay to try new things.
If you could go back to when you were like 13, and you could give yourself only one piece of advice, what would it be?
That is a good question. I feel like it would be to do things that I truly enjoyed and not worry so much about the perception of how they looked. Because I think a lot of my choices that I made when I was a teenager were based on how I wanted to be perceived by other people instead of just things that I actually really enjoyed doing. And when you are a teenager at that age, you're at such an age where you're just discovering all these things all the time. And I think I blocked myself from trying new things because I was like, oh, but I'm not that type of person. I put myself in a box and I was like, no, I'm this type of person. I must do this, this, this. I can't like those things. Even if I do really enjoy them, that's separate, and I would do this now. And, you know, so much of teenagehood is just trying to fit in, like we've spoken about before. And you just want to assimilate with everyone. You don't want to stand out at all. So I think I'd tell myself, yeah, just to try those things and enjoy them and not care so much about what other people think. What about you? What would you say?
Along the same lines, I think the way I'd probably phrase it for myself that would resonate most is I'd say like that gut feeling you have that everyone's giving you terrible advice is 100% spot on. Because one of my favorite phrases nowadays is don't take advice from people that you wouldn't want to be. And I think
good.
that's what I spent my whole life doing is people who didn't share my dreams, people who were content with things I wouldn't have been content with, were telling me how to live my life and what to do. And as a result, I've ended up like them. I should have listened to my own advice.
Yeah. It's
know?
funny that like we have that. It's a weird thing to explain, intuition. Like it's like an inner knowing that you want to go in a certain direction, and this gut feeling. It's actually what she talks about in the book, because one of the like topics she brings up in week 3 is anger, and she's talking about how anger is we should use it as a director. So when we're angry about something, it's telling us that we either want something or we don't want it, and we should listen to that, not just like outwardly react to that. But I think that's part of this whole kind of gut feeling thing, and we usually have intuition. All of us have intuition, but we just turn it off, I think, and then we fall out of touch with it, or we start doing things based on what other people do or tell us to do, and we lose it. But it's really important to gain it back again and try those things.
This brought up a memory for me as well, because at some point during all of that, I started to believe that, yeah, maybe my dreams are stupid. And I know that I wasn't that way when I was like 12. I remember like there was a girl in my year, there was a crew at her house filming a commercial. Like they were paying their parents to use the house as a set. And at that point I had no shame, and I would listen to my compass and I would do whatever the hell I had to do to get where I wanted to be. And I literally, I printed out my headshot and I brought it into school and I made her take it home to show the director of this commercial, because I was like, whatever I have to do, like this is me, like do you have a part for me, like what do I have to do to meet people? And then at some point I started believing I was ridiculous, this dream was ridiculous. And now, like one of the things thinking about anger brought up for me is when I feel anger the most, and just like a sick feeling in my stomach, is when I see people who I used to go to like drama school with succeeding, and it's not anger that's directed at them. Like I love to see the people that I care about doing well, but it gives me this like sick feeling in my stomach and anger towards myself that like everyone, and anger towards the people who told me it was impossible, because I'm like seeing proof that they were wrong. I'm like, you said this was a stupid dream to chase, and yet look at all these people succeeding where I could have, but I listened to you. And that's also kind of misdirected, because that doesn't help me to be angry at them.
Yeah.
But like the way that she phrased using anger as kind of your inner compass was, I had to look at that and be like, okay, well, what is that anger telling me? It's telling me I should also be chasing that dream. And when I like book stuff in, when I book in acting classes, when I'm actively doing what I enjoy, and I see things come up on social media, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It's only when I'm like stuck in my day job, not doing what I'm enjoying, that it makes me upset. So
Yeah, yeah. It's the I think it's like misdirected anger, isn't it? Because that's kind of what jealousy is. Like you see someone else doing something and you feel angry about that, but it's not about them really. It's about you and what you're doing. And I think people don't
exactly.
always see that, and it's such a common thing to do. And actually this week I did a no social media week as well, where I took myself off of social media. One of the reasons I wanted to try it was because I found myself comparing to other people online, which is kind of the same thing. Comparing and jealousy is similar. See people do stuff or go to places and do things, and I'd instantly feel like I wasn't doing enough. And it's not even, I mean, I'm doing enough. It's a natural emotion, and that is that kind of anger that's redirecting. It's telling you to go
Yeah.
somewhere, it's telling you to do something, and we need to use that to actually go and do those things.
I actually, I'm starting to believe jealousy isn't even a real emotion. It is just anger misdirected. Like
Yeah.
it is, because yeah, it's not what I'm feeling towards a person. It is a direction. It's a sign that I should take some action, and that's obvious because as soon as I take action, the emotion dissipates. It doesn't
Yeah.
always go away completely, but it is like an immediate effect. Like I remember I voice noted you because I was on social media, and it like literally saw other people succeeding and had like a bit of a spiral while I was, because I was in the office doing something that I hated, and the direct comparison just made me feel so depressed about my life. And I was voice noting you, and by the time I got home, I had booked like a casting director workshop, I had booked a reading evening, and I felt completely fine. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, it's not about that, it's about
Yeah.
me.
That's all it is.
It's
It's
always
just
been about
like
me.
you just need to take action. And a lot of people just don't read into that and just think, oh, I'm just angry, or I'm just jealous,
Yeah.
or I'm just this and I'm just that. And I'm like, but what is it telling you to do? It's obviously it's prompting an action. And it's only when we don't do that action that it becomes a bigger fire. It just like turns into something bigger. So it related to another thing that I read this week, which, well, I didn't read. I saw a video of someone who had read the book speak about the book. So I haven't actually read the book myself, but I do want to. It's called Anti-Fragile by Nassim Taleb, I think, was the author. And it was basically explaining how it's important for human things to have moments where they break in order to grow. And I think they were talking about the wildfires in California, and how the natural forest kind of has little small fires itself and then puts themselves out. It's just the way that nature happens, and that is what happens with those forests. But over time, because there's been more people that live near those places, they put out the fires because they obviously don't want their homes to burn or whatever. And then because those little fires haven't had a chance to happen, it turned into one huge fire when we had those massive fires in California. And although that's like a nature thing, you can directly relate that to yourself and actually to anger. And those little moments of conflict between people, between relationships that you have, but also the relationship that you have with yourself. If you ignore that and you don't allow that fire to come up and to be and sit in that uncomfortableness and then deal with it, then that's just going to be suppressed and more suppressed, and then it will just turn into a huge raging fire. It's never going to completely go away. So it's really important to have those little moments of feeling uncomfortable in order to grow. And growth is always on the other side of discomfort. You have to go through discomfort to get growth. You can't just sit and be comfortable and grow at the same time. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. But I found that really interesting as well.
Yeah. When you told me about that, it made me think about mediating, because you and I are really similar in that we tend to naturally take on that mediator role in our families and our friendships. And one lesson I learned since I've moved to Canada is sometimes I need to step back and let other people argue, because by stepping in all the time, it feels like I'm squashing things. It feels like I'm helping the situation, but they aren't learning to communicate. Like they're not learning how to get along better with each other. And also, it doesn't need to be my responsibility. I journaled about it, and in my journal, I was like, you know what? I'm always assuming the worst, and I gave myself a moment to just write out like a little fantasy scenario, and I literally wrote from the point of view of like the future, and I was like, I didn't step in, and they sorted out their issues by themselves, and I'm so proud of them, and blah blah blah. And then the next I heard from them, they actually had. And I was like, excuse me, like you solved a problem without me? Like,
Crazy,
what? And that sounds
crazy.
like so big-headed, like I'm the only one that can solve everyone else's problems. And it was such a life lesson. I was like, okay, I need to let you argue sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
One, not my problem. Two, you need to learn. And me interfering before the problem can arise is always just going to stop a learning moment. Like, that's all it's gonna
Exactly.
do.
Have you heard of Mel Robbins before? Do you know who Mel Robbins is?
No.
She has a book called Let Them, the Let Them theory, and it's like
Oh,
basically, you've heard of it?
I've heard of it. Not, I couldn't remember her name, but I nearly bought that book
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it appealed to me.
So I
Yeah.
actually listened to her
Have
in a
you read it?
podcast. I haven't read the book, but I listened to her in a podcast and she was basically describing the let them theory. I think mediators like us, we kind of, because we don't want conflict to happen and maybe we're so conflict averse, we like to try and control the situation and mediate. And that's basically what we do. And the let them theory is basically saying just allow them to resolve it themselves because they need to do that in order to grow. And I'd never thought of anything like that before. So the first time I heard it, I was like, wow, that's so interesting that I don't have to be the one to solve everything all the time. I can actually let other people do that.
I think that's really useful for friendships as well, because a lot of the time I let things go when people have upset me or annoyed me or are acting in ways that really bother me, and I either will ignore it to the point where like I pretend like everything is completely fine, which is too much, and then they continue the behavior, or I bring it up and try to keep fixing it and inevitably can't fix it always because I'm not in control of that person. But what I took from literally the day I read the back of that book, I made a decision to, like, with certain friendships, when people act in ways that upset me, to take a deliberate step back, to be like, okay, bring it up first, try to resolve it. If that doesn't resolve it, then what I'm going to do is, well, okay, you can be that way. I clearly can't control that, but I don't want to be around you when you're being like that. Like, I'm in control of who's in my vicinity. I'm in control of who I spend my time with, and I need to be really selective if I'm going to
Yeah.
be in the right headspace. Like,
Yeah.
and that's okay. Like, you don't need to maintain every friendship. Not every friendship is meant to be, and not every friendship is meant to be in every, there's a lot of capacities in which you can have. I have some friends that I want to talk to every day, and I have some friends that I talk to a couple times a year, and I have some, it depends on the friendship, and it doesn't mean I'm
Yeah.
closer or more
No, but
distant with
that's
the ones I
so
talk to
normal.
less, but
Yeah. And it's that
yeah.
whole idea of like, we need a village of people and different friends give us different things. And I think we
Exactly.
can't just rely on one friend to give us everything because I mean, there's some friends that I would go on holidays with, some friends I would not go on holiday with. Doesn't mean I love them any less. It's just I know that those two things would not match, but they give
Yeah.
me other things. And so it's really important to have lots of different people in your life and doing different things. But I think friendship breakups are a real thing that no one talks about, and we all go through them because we don't all have the same set of friends that we had when we were kids as we do now. But sometimes we let them just fizzle out, or other times you actually need to sit down and have a conversation with someone, which is really hard, and just be like, look, we're breaking up basically,
Yeah.
which is difficult to do with a friend,
I think
but
that can
also
be as awful as
necessary.
a relationship breakup. Like, I have friends that you know, that feel like platonic soulmates to me. Like my best friend who lives in Australia is like my platonic soulmate. Like, if we,
Oh,
I don't know how I would like actually deal without her. I think the value of friendships is very often underestimated.
it is, it
And a
really
lot of
is.
people get in relationships and then discard their friendships as well,
Yeah,
which is really
yeah.
sad.
There was something about that in a book that I was reading. I can't remember which book it was, but it was from the perspective of a single woman, and she was sort of saying how um, when as you get older and people get more into long-term relationships, friendships become less important. And as a single woman, that's really difficult because you kind of rely on those friendships to as your support network, and those are more important to you. And it's hard when people sort of fizzle out and do their own things in their own lives. And I think because of the way we live in today's society, like we live in such an individualistic society, we don't just pop round to someone's house for tea anymore. Like, we don't just do that really. We just all stay in our own little place, and then we're not as connected because of that, which is a shame, really.
Yeah, but you got to really put in the effort.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's fizzling out becomes the natural course of things,
it does.
which is
Yeah, it
very
requires
sad.
effort from both sides of a friendship, and I think people forget that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Next task.
Oh yeah, the task.
That's what
oh my
spurred
God,
this. We got completely.
I completely forgot what we were talking about there. So then we spoke about habits. Take a look at your habits. Many of them may interfere with your self-nurturing and cause shame. So shame was another big topic in this chapter. It was looking at rotten habits that you have, which habits that you have are serving you, which are not, and what's the payoff in continuing them, which I thought was an interesting way to phrase that. But yeah. How did you find that one?
I mean, instantly I went to, I know that my habits are distracting myself from reality, anything that takes me out of things. And it's so unhelpful. So for example, I have many bad habits, but one of them being, if I know I need to do something, suddenly deciding that I desperately need downtime to sit and watch TV, or do something distracting like that. And the payoff is, in the short term, my anxiety goes away because I'm watching TV, I'm not thinking about it. But obviously, as a direct result of that, I'm not allowing my brain to process the thing I'm avoiding, and I'm not allowing myself preparation time for the thing I'm avoiding.
Yeah.
So, like, I know for me, every time I've done an artist date, I feel like I've actually earned time back.
So mine were exactly the same when I was talking about habits, or when I was writing them down, that I realised that they all were, you get paid off in the short term rather than the long term. And I think it's really hard to do things. What's that word? Instant gratification is such a big word. We live in a world of instant gratification now. And so it's hard to what's the opposite of instant gratification? What's the word?
Is there a word?
Is there an opposite for instant?
I mean, there's...
Long term? No.
Delayed gratification, maybe?
Delayed, yes, that's right. Not long term, what the hell is that? Delayed gratification, I feel, is harder to do, but actually way more beneficial for ourselves and for everybody. And that's kind of what the hobbits, the habit task was getting us to look at.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I'm going to skip a couple of these because some of them were like, call a friend who treats you like you are a really good and bright person, which is cute. But what else was there? Oh, this one I found quite difficult, actually. It was list 5 people that you admire and then list 5 people that you secretly admire. And I just found the secretly admire one really difficult because I was like, I don't really put people on pedestals. Like, I've never been a celebrity person. I've never had like a Hall of Fame type people that I look up to, and secretly admire felt really weird because I was just thinking, why would that be a secret if I admire someone? I don't know. So I actually struggled with that task. I didn't really click with it that well, but I don't know. How did you find it?
I felt the same, and I think that's a good sign that both of us are open and honest with like what we like in other people. I think that we've already kind of figured that out for ourselves and stopped feeling any kind of shame, if ever, for that. Like, I know when I was traveling, I went to like so many conventions because I was like, I find actors specifically so inspiring, partly because I want to be an actor, so I really obviously look up to people that are succeeding at what I want to do, and I'm like, how can I learn from you? And it takes my breath away sometimes, like the talent of these people. But also because with actors, I connect so much with characters that they create, and that forms like an emotional attachment, you know. Like, I know that the actor is a separate person, but it still makes me desperately like admire the actor that could perceive of the character like that, you know. What I mean? So when I was traveling and going to all these conventions, I got so much judgment for being a fangirl, literally and the main group of people that were judging me were men who I know would be at a football game with their shirts off, drunk, causing fights because their team lost. So I'm like, why are you judging me?
They would also be the
TV
first
character?
in line to try and get a signature from a footballer, by the way. Like,
exactly.
Just saying.
I feel like that's a really big aspect of misogyny. Just such a clear double standard. Fangirls are considered immature and ridiculous, but football hooligans are so normalized or considered, like men.
I was going to say that also, what you were saying really links into the whole topic of anger as well. I think anger and women are a very interesting topic because we are taught to kind of suppress our anger a lot when we grow up, and being angry is not seen as something that a woman should be, whereas men, it's like sometimes the only emotion that they have. But it seemed to be okay. And not, I don't know if I'm describing this well, but I think society just teaches us to suppress it a bit more, and that suppressed anger then comes out in different ways. And I know that I personally really struggled with this idea of anger. I'd never seen myself as an angry person. Even though I'm a human, we all have anger. I have anger, but I find it really hard to express it. And I'm not someone who will really shout and be loud in an argument. I withdraw, get upset, and then need to go. And that anger comes out in other ways for me. But is it the same with you? Do you feel the same?
I was going to say, I cry when I'm angry.
Yeah,
Do
same.
you also? So that's how anger comes out, especially when confrontation is involved. Because as a woman, you never learn this. You're like it as a kid, like you express anger the same way as boys, but you're punished for it immediately and incessantly your whole life. So same, like that's kind of what, like when I talked about anger being a compass for me earlier, I mentioned a sick feeling in my stomach, because often that's the feeling. It's not necessarily anger like the way we imagine anger, like red, angry, blah, blah, blah. Like it's more a sick feeling in my chest.
We were going to go through some little questions that were in the book. There's a section called detective work, which are part of the task that kind of just ask little quick fire fun questions. And I thought it'd be quite fun to go through those to round this off. So the first question was, my favourite childhood toy was... It's not really a question, but you know what I mean. What was your favourite childhood toy?
My spy tracker system.
No way. That was mine as well.
Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Really?
I wrote down two. I wrote down, because I had a sheep, you know, Baba. Do you remember Baba?
Yes.
So I had a toy sheep called Baba, which is very creative, the name, I know. But I also had my spy detective kit where I had these things, like motion sensors that I'd put outside of different bedrooms in the house, so I'd know when people had gone into a room, and I loved it.
I didn't realise we both had the same thing.
Neither did I. I had no idea you had that as well. That's so funny.
It was the exact same. There were like 3 round little sensors, and then the kit itself.
Yeah, I loved it. Wait,
So
we must
cool.
have, because I remember doing it together at Nonna's house.
Yeah.
So we must have done it with both of our things, or one of us had it.
We probably both bought our stuff. Yeah.
That was so
Did
fun.
you have
I
had like the spy vision goggles as well?
Yeah.
It was so cool.
It was so good. I watched Spy Kids, and I was obsessed, and I wanted to be a spy kid. I remember. I just wanted to be a detective.
I'm going to say, this is a buried dream I forgot about. I wanted to be either a detective or like a MI5 agent or MI6. I remember the UK
I think that's why I got so obsessed with watching like CSI and Criminal Minds when I got a bit older, because I was so obsessed with that vibe, and I wanted to be a detective, basically.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. My favorite.
Terrible detective.
What was your favorite childhood game?
Playing spies, honestly.
Yeah.
Or I used to make my sister play Polly Pockets with me, and I was like the singer Polly Pocket, and I liked to like make them sing on little stages that I made.
That's so cute.
So
Mine was that I used to play with it was either my Barbies or my Bratz. I loved both of them. Like I had these Bratz dolls that I was obsessed with, and Barbies, and I'd make them like, I don't know, I'd make scenes with them and play with them. But one of the other games that I remembered was the trampoline game that we used to play at your house, which I was obsessed with. So we both had trampolines, but did yours have a net? No, did it? No.
You had the net.
I had a net and yours didn't. And we used to play these random games, and we'd spend hours just jumping up and down. Like honestly, so many hours just on there, and we'd make these creative games like we were falling backwards into someone's stomach or just random weird things. And I just remember having the best
so
time.
Imaginative.
Yeah, I loved it. It was my favourite. The best movie, what was let me rephrase these as questions. Oh my God, I did the same thing. What was the best movie I ever saw as a kid?
So mine's a bit of a weird one, because I don't know why I enjoyed this movie so much, but have you ever seen The Rabbit Proof Fence?
No, I haven't seen that.
It's got really dark subject matter, but it's about Indigenous people in Australia.
Really?
And these 3 kids who have been forcibly like separated from their parents and taken to a camp, but they escape and they like walk across the desert to get home.
Interesting.
And I was like so young, every time I watched that, I didn't really understand what was happening. But for some reason, it was just one of those movies that used to play all the time on the movie channels we had on Sky. And so every time it came on, I'd get so excited, and I would sit and I was like mesmerized by it. I don't know why.
That's so funny.
But that was my favorite movie as a kid by far.
What was mine? I loved The Incredibles. I did love The Incredibles as a kid. That was like one of my favorites because I thought I was the invisible girl. That's what I wanted to be. But I also wanted to be elastic. I was like a mix of both, basically. But that, and then there was also, what was it called? Bugs Life?
Oh yeah.
Did you watch Bugs Life? I loved Bugs Life. I had little figures.
I watched that again fairly recently.
Did you? Oh my god, I want to watch it again.
On like a plane, I think. You should.
It was so
That could be an
good.
artist date idea.
That could be an artist. And maybe I'll go and watch Bugs Life somewhere. I don't do it much, but I enjoy.
Oh, that's tricky. Okay, first thought I had was ice skating.
Ooh.
Especially,
that.
I'm in Canada right now. It's the perfect place for it. I haven't done it. I haven't skated in years.
Yeah. I remember you used to love it.
You?
What do I know? To be fair, I actually enjoy dancing. I enjoyed that one dance class I went to last year, the one class. But I would love to do that more. I think it's yeah, I don't really know why I don't do it more. I do enjoy doing it when I do it. But because I am such a beginner at it, it's hard to make myself go and do it more. But I really enjoy it. It's good fun. So that's probably that. What's your favourite musical instrument?
Keyboard.
Same. I love the keyboard. I loved it.
That was so fun when we were kids too.
I know.
Like we used to waste hours just playing songs on the keyboard or putting it on demo mode and then just
vibing.
doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just vibing.
Yeah.
Normally making like webcam videos while we vibe to like the keyboard auto playing for release or something.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
Yeah, that was mine as well. I actually got the keyboard out the other day with Sam, my boyfriend, and we were like playing. We tried to make the Stranger Things theme tune just by ear. Like we played it on Spotify, and then we're trying to recreate it. We managed to do it pretty well.
That's so fun.
I used to love doing that as a kid, finding music and then just playing it by ear, like finding the notes on the keyboard myself without looking up the notes, and I loved it. So I don't know, I should do that more.
I remember doing that with the Casualty theme song and the Rugrats theme song.
Oh, I still know the Rugrats one. I love the Rugrats one.
Yeah.
It's the one that stuck in my brain the most. Like, dun, 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 dun. I loved it.
Oh, so good.
Okay, the last question is, I secretly enjoy reading. It's not a question. I did it again, didn't I?
No, but that's fine. My answer's embarrassing, but I don't give a shit. Gay fanfic.
Oh, that's so fun.
Swan Queen fanfic.
Love it.
My Swan Queen babies.
Love it. Love it.
I read so much fanfic about this one pairing in Once Upon a Time that there was a moment I actually like forgot they weren't actually together in the show.
Oh, I actually don't know if I secretly enjoy reading anything because I only recently discovered reading again this year. So I haven't really read much, but maybe it's not a secret, but I discovered that I enjoy historical fiction. That is what I have discovered this year. Like I enjoy learning about history through a story rather than just through facts. They don't really stick in my head much when it's non-fiction. Non-fiction?
You know what movie you should watch? The Testament of Anne Lee sounds really cool.
Ooh, really?
It's like a historical drama about how the Shakers, who I think became like the Quakers, or the other way around, kind of formed. It looks really interesting.
Interesting. I shall watch that. Mm-hmm. Well, that was all the midnight questions for this episode. Oh, I can't believe all the technical difficulties.
I was going to say the final 10 minutes of that took like 30 minutes.
So long. Everything that went wrong just went wrong. But you didn't see that, so it's okay. Yeah, but I hope hope you all enjoyed talking with us. Well, we were talking at you. Yeah. You weren't talking to us. But yeah, it's been fun. That was a really fun chapter. And let me read next week. So next week is week 4. Which the title of week 4 is Recovering a Sense of Integrity. So that should be an interesting week. We will keep you updated on how that week goes for us. And we'll see you in the next one. Woo! Are we done?
Bye.
Bye!
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
We're done.